This is a new thing. Little weird. I've been building to this for probably about 16, 17 years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Loyd, and I wanted to share with you for just a few minutes the number one cause of all non-physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, emotions, feelings, thoughts, the number one cause of all non-physical illness and disease. All right? If you haven't already watched them, I would watch the teaching on the number one cause of all health problems and the number one cause of all physical health problems. And this is probably the third one, the number one cause of all non-physical health problems. And then I'm going to do one that ties all three together. All right? So if you're interested in this, watch those others as well. And I'm also going to give you an intervention you can do to fix these non-physical health issues in you or someone you love starting today. I'm going to give it to you for free. And it takes about 5 minutes to learn and about 5 minutes to do. We've been doing this with people all over the world for 25 years. I'm a New York Times best-selling author. My publishers tell me I built the largest mental emotional health practice in the world. We have clients in 50 states, 184 countries, and counting. And it's because this simple little technique that I'm going to give you in a few minutes works to eliminate the cause of illness and disease. All right, let me pull my board over. And this is what we're talking about, the number one cause of non-physical illness and disease. That would be depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, stress itself. Acute stress is a DSM-5 diagnosis. ACEs, which are adverse childhood experiences, are about as stressful as anything can be outside somebody putting a gun to your head, all right, and cause problems all our life if we don't resolve those. But let me explain this briefly, and then we'll tie it all together. So this is you, okay? Y-O-U. It's me too, all right? And it's everybody on earth. And the H stands for a thing in your brain called the hypothalamus, all right? And the hypothalamus is your stress gatekeeper. It's your health or illness gatekeeper. It's your keep you safe gatekeeper, all right? And so here's how the hypothalamus works, all right? You have an event happens in your life, something probably in your day, in your physical and external circumstances, and it comes in to through your senses, your five senses, and it immediately is compared to your heart. And I'm talking about the biblical heart, which would be your unconscious, subconscious, ancestry, your conscious mind, will, and emotions, all of your memories, all of that is in what I call the spiritual heart, or what science would call your unconscious, subconscious, ancestry, and conscious mind, and all of your memories. So, and this represents all of your memories. And by the way, I don't believe that your unconscious, subconscious, spiritual heart is in your pump heart. I illustrated it that way because that's what everybody thinks of. But I believe it's really in the brain, okay? So you've got all your memories, millions of memories. You have memories passed down to you from hundreds of years into your ancestry that you don't even know you have. And the research says that the ones that are passed down the most and are active the most in you are trauma memories, which means the bad things that happened to your ancestors. So every generation receives a bucket full of trauma memories, and maybe some good ones too, from their ancestry. And they don't even know they're there, but the ones that are stressful, traumas, etc., they act just like that happened to you. They act in your body like that trauma happened to you, only it didn't. It happened to your ancestors and was passed down. Not only did it not happen to you, you don't even know you have it. You think that the thing that's causing you to think negatively or have anxiety or depression or stress is your physical and external circumstances. The science says you're wrong. Unless your physical and external circumstances are life-threatening in the present moment, like my life is in imminent danger in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, if that's it, if that's what's going on, then yeah, that could be the cause. But typically that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you thinking negatively and having negative emotions and feelings and depression and anxiety and stress and irritation and frustration and all that stuff when your life is not in imminent danger, all right? And that's what we're talking about. So all of your memories are, they're really all over your body, not just in your brain, not just in your heart. They're all over your body. That's why they named them cellular memories. So the thing happens in your circumstances. Let's say it's something you don't like. It's not what you wanted to have happen. All right? And often when that happens, our first response, even before we can think about it, is some emotion or feeling in the anger family. Anger, irritation, frustration, etc. Okay? So something happens that's stressful, although it's not life-threatening, and it comes into your senses, and it's immediately, in a fraction of a second, compared to every memory you have. All right? Why? Well, it's just like your immune system. You've probably heard that if you get an illness, you can't ever get that exact same illness again because your immune system memorizes that threat. And if it ever comes in again, it has the antidote for it and goes and kills it very quickly. Okay? But here's all your memories, good, bad, and neutral. And the good would be green, neutral is kind of black, the red is red. And I call those red memories because they're hot. They're hot. And so if something in your circumstances happens, comes in through your senses, comes down and is compared to all your memories and all your ancestors' memories, and there's one of these red memories, which means an unresolved trauma or something terrible that you've never gone back and resolved and made sense of it and still been okay with it, so that when you thought about it in the future, it no longer bothered you. You should always get to that point with traumas and very negative things that happen. You've got to process them or they'll kill you or hurt you. And that's what I'm talking about. So if there's one or two of these red memories that your unconscious mind determines is somehow related to this thing that happened, and believe me, it has a wide berth. It's not being critical. It's saying, okay, anything that might, in the realm of possibility, be close to related to this, we're going to count it as related, because the number one job of your unconscious mind is not for you to be happy. It's not even for you to be healthy. It's to keep you alive. And if it overreacts, you're still alive. If it underreacts, you may not be alive, and the unconscious has messed up its prime directive, and it won't do that, okay? So if you have unresolved red memories that your unconscious mind determined are somehow related to what's happening, and it will do that in almost anything that's happening, and I'll go into that more maybe in another thing, then the message is sent from your unconscious mind to the big H, the hypothalamus in your brain. And when the hypothalamus receives a signal from one of these red memories, it flips on fight or flight. It flips on the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Another name, the clinical name for fight or flight. The common name is the fear response or the stress response, okay? And once that's activated, then you react, okay? you don't act. That's what you want to do. What you want to do is, okay, this is happening out here, but that's not really related to these other things that happened to me. I don't think that's any threat. Everything's fine. Let's go ahead with our day. That's what you're supposed to do. Act, not react. React is like stimulus response, action, reaction. And that comes from the red memories. So they send their signal. It's basically a fear signal, a self-protection danger signal to the hypothalamus. When the hypothalamus receives that, the first thing it does is suppress your immune system, because the immune system uses more energy than any other system in the body. And you don't need your immune system if fight or flight stress is activated, because that's only supposed to be activated if your life is in imminent danger in the next 15 or 20 minutes. All right? Well, digestion can wait 15 or 20 minutes. A virus can wait 15 or 20 minutes. No problem. All right? The problem is when this red memory is the issue, not what's happening out here. That's internal, not external. And the thing that the hypothalamus makes the decision on whether to put you into fight or flight or not is not based on the external thing that happens. It's based on your internal memories and programming. And if those internal memories and programming are unresolved, you haven't dealt with them, you've just ignored them because it's uncomfortable to think about those, or even painful to think about those, then these are likely going to not be resolved, not be healed. They're going to stay red memories. They're going to keep resonating that signal to the hypothalamus, sometimes 24/7 for decades. For decades. Maybe your entire adult life. And so the reaction is that as soon as the hypothalamus shifts you into fight or flight, now you've got all the negative hormones being produced and dripped through your body, cortisol, adrenaline, dopamine, etc., all right, which gives you a whole bunch of energy for about, an hour, and then you start to go into cortisol crash and you're exhausted. And if this is a 24/7 kind of thing, you can be exhausted for years. Or even decades, okay? So it suppresses your immune system. It starts dripping the negative hormones. It sends a energy signal throughout your body for cells to go from open to closed. Dr. Lipton at Stanford University says your cells at any given time are either open or closed. An open cell heals, does its job, produces the work it's supposed to do, cooperates, gets rid of toxins and waste, takes in nutrition, hydration, oxygen, nutrients, etc. A closed cell doesn't let in any nutrients. It doesn't let in new energy and oxygen. It starts to become a garbage dump and stagnant. The energy inside the cell starts to wither away, okay, until if you stay in that situation, a disease gene is likely to manifest that never would have manifested any other way. Okay? But also, the non-physical, it shifts your thoughts and emotions and feelings based on the latest research with the average person to 80% negative. 80%. So on the sadness joy scale, where's 80%? It's sure not joy. On the anxiety to peace scale, where's the 80% to the anxiety? You don't have hardly any peace, etc. Or love and selfishness. It shifts you into selfish mode. Mind, emotions, will, thoughts, feelings, beliefs. It shifts you into selfishness, away from love and cooperating in great relationships with other people. Okay? So that's the way non-physical disease, that's where you get it. That's how you get anxiety disorder, depression disorder, acute stress disorder, adverse childhood experiences, post-traumatic stress. All of those come from this exact process and nothing else. okay? So if you struggle with anxiety, sadness, depression, stress, negative emotions, negative thinking, low energy, hard to get through the day, it's virtually guaranteed this is where it's coming from in you. And your hypothalamus is not going to flip stress off into physiological peace, where now you have oxytocin dripping, peptides, all those feel-good hormones, like when you were first in love and you felt like you could go days or weeks without sleep, the sky was bluer, the food tasted better, you know, life is great. You're walking 2 feet off the ground, okay? That's what you experience when there aren't any red memories and your unconscious mind is sending a peace, everything's okay signal to the hypothalamus. So, what do if you have these red memories, and you know you do because you're reacting in 80% negativity instead of acting in positivity, or 80% positive, which is where we're supposed to be, but very few people are. There's only one way to do it. You've got to heal the red memory. Well, how do you do that if the red memories a lot of the time are in your unconscious or your ancestry, and the definition of those is you don't remember them. You don't know what they are. Your unconscious, you just can't remember it. Your ancestry, you don't even know you have it. How do you fix those if that's where that... You have to have a process that does it automatically. And the example I like, if you've ever had a plumber come to your house for a clogged up drain or the commode or whatever, usually they would get out this, it's called a plumber's snake. And they put this metal, it looks like a big wire, and they put the end of it in the drain that's clogged, or in the commode that's clogged, and then they start winding that thing in and down into the drain until they feel resistance. That's where the clog is, and then they push through the resistance and it flows on out, and now the drain is working and it's open, and everything can flow again. All right? Well, I discovered a process in 2001, and we have 26 double-blind university independent studies now published in peer-reviewed journals that process works to fix these things. And you can read those studies on our website, including all the issues that they found that it healed. There are 2 studies on there, independent university studies published in journals, that say that process works better than the most popular counseling and therapy for finding and fixing these basically automatically. It'll take you about 5 minutes to learn it and about 5 minutes to do it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it'll all be healed in 5 minutes, but you should notice a difference in your stress paradigm. So before you do it, say, okay, where's my stress right now? Then do it. Then see where your stress is, and it should be lower. And the more you do that, the lower your stress goes. And when your stress goes low enough, it's healed these red memories. And so the events happen, but the signal sent to your hypothalamus is everything's cool. Peace. And the hypothalamus starts all the feel-good hormones, sends a positive signal to the cells telling them to stay open, sends you 80% to the positive in your emotions, thoughts, and feelings instead of 80% to the negative. So if that sounds interesting to you, you don't have to pay for a thing. I'm giving it to you, at least the starter one, and you can tell from that it's lowering your stress paradigm. It's finding these and diminishing them, and then when you do it until they're healed, then the hypothalamus becomes your friend, not your enemy, and you're acting instead of reacting, and all of this gets better and better and better. So click on the link, and it'll take you to the free intervention from those 26 double-blind studies and the 2 comparison studies that found it works better than counseling and therapy. You can read them if you want. And I'm giving you the intervention to start with to heal your red memories, and in so doing, eliminate your stress and heal the source of non-physical illness and disease. So thank you very much. If you haven't watched the others on the number 1 cause of physical illness and disease and the number 1 cause of health problems, I would watch those. And then I'm doing another one to tie all of these together. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful, blessed day.